You ever think about your very first trauma? I'm not talking about your parents' divorce or some kid stealing your toy from daycare. I'm talking about the moment you came into this world. Peaceful, floating in your mother's womb, and then boom, fluorescent lights, cold metal, strangers in masks, slapped on your ass, placed on a cold weigh scale like a piece of meat. That's how it began for most of us. And that first shock, it never left. It just buried itself inside. We came into this life in a meditative state. No language, no ego, just presence. And suddenly, we're forced into a world that starts shaping us before we even know our own name. And the shaping, it doesn't stop. Parents yelling, parents ignoring, being told who to be, how to act, what emotions are acceptable. We don't get molded, we get programmed. I was no exception. Grew up in a good home, but like most families, love came with conditions. Be the strong one. Be the helper. Don't cry, or I'll give you something to cry about. And don't show weakness. So I learned early to suppress what I felt. And that suppression, that became my identity. As a kid, I was angry. I didn't know it then, but I had all this fire in me that I didn't know how to deal with. I bullied my sisters. I needed to feel powerful somewhere. And I regret that now deeply. But back then, I didn't have the tools or the awareness. I just had the pain. Pain from things I couldn't name. Feeling unseen. Trying to earn love. Trying to prove I mattered. I didn't escape into video games or porn. I escaped into control. I needed everything around me to go a certain way. I ran my construction crew like it was my own identity. Everything had to be done my way. Because deep down, I didn't trust anyone else would get it done right. And I didn't trust that I'd be okay if things went off course. That kind of control, it's not strength. It's fear dressed up as confidence. And the fear was just the echo of a little boy who didn't feel safe being himself. Suppress the pain, suppress the tears, suppress the truth. Until one day, the suppression becomes sickness. Your mind is always racing. Your back is always tight. Your fuse is short. You didn't even know why. Trauma doesn't always look like war or abuse. Sometimes it just looks like a little boy being told to calm down when he's just trying to express himself. Or a teenager who's never taught how to cry, only how to hide it. We've built entire lives around avoidance. But I promise you, what you suppress doesn't disappear. It just waits. And eventually, it screams. My healing didn't begin when I hit rock bottom. It began the moment I stopped running. Stopped blaming my parents. Stopped numbing out on UFC fights and fake confidence. I sat still. I faced the discomfort. I educated myself, and I trained the beautiful art of boxing. I remembered the boy who wanted to be loved for who he really was, and I forgave him. Even when he bullied others, lied, hurt people, self destructed, I forgave him. Because that boy, he was doing the best he could with what he had. And here's the truth I want you to sit with today. You are not your trauma, but your trauma is likely running the show until you face it. The stories you tell yourself, the ways you react, the habits you can't break, they all trace back into that original wound. That's why I created the 7-Day Presence Protocol. It's not some fake dopamine hit or surface level hack. It's a reset. It's for men and women who are ready to stop drifting, stop pretending, and actually come back to the present moment. The version of you that's calm, clear, and in control. That version already lives inside of you. You just need to remember him or her. Link is down in the description. You might not remember your first trauma, but your body does. And your soul's been waiting for you to come back ever since. Back to the stillness, back to the truth. Back to who you were before the world told you who to be. You don't need to be afraid of what you'll find when you go inward. What's scarier is what happens if you don't. Stop suppressing. Start remembering. And trust me when I say you are not broken. You've just been surviving. But now, it's time to start living. No time like the presence. Let's go.